This is IBM Museum, and this is a late video. It's not so late that these are my pajamas or anything, and I don't want to hear anything like wizard jokes. But I thought I'd go through and kick out a video tonight. I've been going through most of the day working with the 8-bit and ISA IBM token ring adapters, archiving EEPROM images. I'll get pictures of those and just compiling data on how those may relate to the microchannel token ring adapters. That data is just, it's not complete. I still need to work that over. So this video is not on them. I did go through and I've been meaning to pull out an adapter that IBM called the Ethernet for ISA adapter, and it's got a common FRU. I'll show the adapters, and I was pretty sure that I had done a video on these previously, and I found one for at least the configuration utility of them, and that was back in July 31st of 2020, and that video is like 1minute and 46 seconds long and had like, I think 64 views or whatever. I'll link it into the video description to show that, but I'll probably redo that at some point too. But I didn't show the adapters at that time. So let me get the webcam off, get turned around, and so I can bring these up. And this is probably one of the earlier designs of this adapter for IBM called it the Ethernet for ISA adapter, I think was the reference. And this one has a little bit different FRU than we'll see in the later one. And it's also got the three, I've got this BNC and the termination hanging off it. It's got the three media type connectors, the AUI, the RJ45, and the 10-base-2 connector there. But each one of these has a boot ROM on them, and I meant to go through, and I've got it actually itemized to what versions these are, and I'll get a little bit more of a chart, get these documented, get pictures of them taken. Through the time, I've got some of the later versions on this back row, but it went through, as you can see, the same EEPROM version there at 60G0611 as it went through, but the adapter changed a little bit, and it's got these national semiconductor chips, and actually it's even identified fairly early on. I'll show it to you on the later adapters too. They call these the AT/Atlantic. I mean, it's kind of referring to them as a Atlantic adapter. Just a little bit of play on that the AT bus, the ISA bus, and LAN for what the adapter did. And this version at least started with the conventional FRU that you see later on, even on the more modern versions. So this is the equivalent. You can go through and you can configure this board with that utility software the same way as you can for the later boards. And that FRU 60G0611. That's the FRU, and you can even search for that online and still find these adapters out there. There's eBay sellers and other places that these are sold. I did have this one. And it's got the best label on it. My others don't have quite that label, but you see a little bit more of the fancy National Semiconductor logo on the chip. I can go through and flip it just to kind of show a little bit more better view of that. And it did go through with the EEPROMs, went into that PLCC socket. And I've gone through and I think I've read these and pretty much itemized the version. Just got to get the chart out basically. And this one is nice. And on the back bracket, I can get my ring light to behave, where it has even the FRU, and it lists, the IBM 10 base T has that link and traffic LED that are marked on that. Most of these adapters don't even have that little sticker on the back. They just go through and you're seeing the green and the amber LED, and not really. That's pretty standard setup for how an Ethernet adapter. What is the link and what's the activity LED? But some of these don't have that marking on the back. There is, just versions of this that have the different boot ROM, and I'll go through and do more of that. And it's the same chipset effectively as on the a microchannel board that IBM called the LAN A adapter. And I've got some of the fronts off of these, and there's an old and new version of these, but it's pretty much the same sort of boot ROM sequence for those as well, or the versions are similar as the on the ISA adapters. And they've got this, it's even marked with the FRU there for that one. Got the mini, this is sometimes called the Apple AUI, or it's a reduced form AUI port that's common, I think, on the Apple side. But and it's got the again the 10 base 2 and the RJ45 or 10 base T connector. And so a lot of the software treats these. I mean, these are the equivalent. In this case, the chip is typically identified as the Sonic T. Same thing from National Semiconductor. And so these are kind of cool adapters. I'll go through and show the utility on some later video. I mean, I can give a link to that in the video description, but these are effectively plug and play adapters that go through, and they that utility configures a particular setup. Of course, in the ICLAS system, there's a for your image of how the adapter is run. It's a particular I/O port and interrupt and all that. When you watch the video, you'll see all that. So expect a little bit more from these as well. This is, a good little side video to do, as I went through and worked with it. It wasn't as prepared to have the token ring content, and went over to the Ethernet side. And I'm going to also go through and look to see what data I have compiled on these, on what versions and everything else the EEPROMs are. If I don't have any read, I'll have to get them in the EEPROM reader as well to get that data compiled. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click on that like button and subscribe to my channel if you are not already. But this is IBM Museum. That's all I have for now. Thank you.